So, for doctors, for the neurological disorder, something just happened that pissed me off. Pissed me off. I feel like a 5-year-old's better than me at just playing a video game for good. Anything, moving the nervous system. I am just rip shit. So I'm playing a Pickle Rick game. Now it runs itself. It doesn't affect my nervous system. All you do is you pick a bunch of statistics and skins and weapons, and then you run the pickle, and it kills in a circle. And if you have the right stuff, you survive. If you don't, they overrun you. It's a number game. It's fun for children, but also for adults who like numbers and stats and scores and there's so many different stats in this game. It's a pickle shooter and it's free and it's simple enough that you can use it with one hand and you only use one thumb. And if you don't even want to use the thumb, you can try to run it with just your numbers if you're good enough. So you don't even need to use your thumb. But anyways, you need to keep your good numbered gear. So I had one power up that gives me health, and I had another power up for my pickle that gives me a bunch of rockets that come down and get rid of the zombies coming near me. Yes, this is why it's fun. You can pick different things on you. They stay on you, and then you watch, or you can just let it run and see if it survived or not. See if your pickle's still alive after it runs its thing, because it just throws a bunch of zombies at your pickle. And if you pick the right gear, if you pick the right numbers, like if I pick something with 10 defense, 3 bounce off, 4 range, 10 range, with a defense of 2, and I have a health of 400, and I have another health of 200, and I have a shoe of regeneration, and I have a life steal of 5, and if I have 6 guns instead of 5 guns, and if I do range guns instead of close-up swords, or if I just equip all this stuff and then let the thing run. That's it. You just pick what you want, like grocery shopping. Just I want that, I want that, I want that, and then you press go, and then you let the thing run. So I had a purple that is maxed out. That's one of the hardest colors to get. Start off white, then it goes green, then it goes blue, but you need 3 blues to make a purple. And that's pretty much the strongest until you get the gold or rage red. Those are special editions, like in some games. Anyway, so I had a purple. I was able to make my rocket purple. Only purple power up. All the rest I have are blue singles, where I only have one of them blue, or they are green. So anyways, I am trying to use the health power up, but I don't have enough chips on it. See, the color purple and the colors I'm giving you allow you to add chips. The more chips you have on it, the more damage or the more powerful. Like the health regain, if I have 20 chips on it because it's green, I regain my health faster and more of it per second. So if I have 1 chip on it, I get 1 point per every 3 seconds. But if I have 20 chips on it, I get 5 points for every half a second. That's how it might work. So I only have 10 chips and I can fit 20 chips onto this health thing. I'm like, oh God. I'm doing paperwork. I'm taking a 5-minute break. So I just press, I don't want to earn more chips. I don't want to do anything. It's only a 5-minute break. So I press deconstruct. That allows you to take your chips and your money off another one, bring that to 0, but keep the purple card. So I go to my purple rocket card and I press deconstruct. But because the screen is glowing, I get a shock through my system. Now this happens when I walk, this happens when I try to talk right now. I'm getting shocks through my system that are driving me nuts as I'm speaking to you on this phone. But because it shocks me right as I'm hitting the button, it presses cell instead of reconstruct. Because reconstruct and cell are side by side, very, very small and red. They are so small, they're 1/10 of your pinky nail. Yes, that's small. But my hand shook, and this was a small shake. I get way bigger than this. oh my God, I get my hand way farther away than this. I've had my hand shake way off where it's noticeable. This happens all the time. I bump in the doorknobs, my legs bump in the tables for 25 years. Or actually, after the overdose, I would say the bumping in the stuff really 20 years. 20 years of bumping in the stuff, I would say. So, and shaking 20 years, twitching 20 years, being skinny and having problems eating with my stomach and esophagus 20 years. So, yeah, guess what happened? I lost my only purple card. No big deal. But I'm so tired of this. And what's even worse is I don't get nobody but me gets to know this is happening. When I tell the doctor or tell my father or tell anybody about it, oh, it's made up. You don't have any health problems. No, no, no. I'm a perfect father. I gave you everything. Get out of here. Gave you everything. I had missing 4 years of education I'll never get back. The food I was given was bad enough to poison me during childhood. Literally, my clothing was so lacking that I was made fun of as a child. And my mother used to poison me and beat me, what causes traumatic different types of memories. And on top of this, because in New Mexico I have traumatic memories of an African American choking me out and food poisoning me. And on top of this, out of everything else, you got my mother poisoning me with food and different things as well. So I just got PTSD health issues from my childhood. So I also had my health affected and I didn't get any proper health care. I didn't even get to keep my health. I had 40 years shaved off before I was even 10 years old. They were shaving off years while I was trying to learn my ABCs and my division and my subtraction. They were trying to learn how I could fry my body. Now, my father, I should give him credit. He was being lied to and manipulated, and he just had so little care for me that he would allow my mother to do anything she wanted to me. It was a free ball game. She wanted to shove a hot red poker up my ass. My father would say, sure, it's called poker up the ass medical treatment. Sure, Patricia, go in the bathroom and shove that hot poker up his ass. My father wouldn't care one bit. All my mother would have to say is that some medical treatment she heard of, my father would be like, go for it. Shove that red hot poker right up there. No problem. That's my father's little concern because I was an adopted child. And he said he didn't want me, so it was a free ball game. And my mother just wanted a pet dog. So I was just a human pet. So drugging me, that's fine. I'm just a pet. I'm just a dog to her. And this continued all the way to my 16 years old. I was 16 and she's still trying to treat me like an animal. At the age of 13 on Christmas, she's trying to stomp on me and throw me off the couch, treating me like a dog because she wants a dog on the couch in front of the whole family. So bad, in fact, that the whole family gets off the other couch and goes, stop, Patricia, stop. Stop what you're doing to him. It's wrong. You're going to fuck his mind up and you're going to get him hurt. She did this all the time. And yes, she did get me hurt, and I'm still getting hurt today by my mother's and father's actions. Yes, my mother's actions, the things she actually did, and my father's neglectful behavior in allowing it to happen. And some of his choices have financially killed me. Oh, absolutely. I mean, he wanted the Social Security and all the money for himself. He didn't care if it interfered with me getting my disability if I am hurt. I mean, I get hit by a car, lose my leg, and I can't collect my Social Security, and there's less money in it. Why? Oh, because my father wanted to come in there and get some relief for his house in Chelmsford. He wanted to pay his mortgage with it. Meanwhile, I didn't get clothing, I didn't get food. I was getting Chef Boyardee in a frickin' program in my room every frickin' month. No clothing shopping, while every other 15-year-old, sorry, not 15-year-old, all other 15 kids go out to the mall and go clothing shopping. This happened every month. Every month. You can go and ask Crossroads program about it. It's part of the program in Massachusetts. These are orphans who have no families. The only thing they have to look forward to in this world is a clothing check. There is nothing else. They have no parents to go on weekends. They have they get to earn once a week McDonald's for $10. They get an allowance of $5 a week if they do chores. And there's basic chores. That's an extra chore. That's if you do this extra. There's an extra chore list where you can make like 50 cents a quarter here and there. And if you sign up, you got to do it all the time, so it adds up. At the end of the month, you got like $10 maybe. I used to get like 1 pack of cigarettes a week by doing that. Anyway, so, and that was when cigarettes were like less than $5. Anyways, in these programs, I was trading cigarettes for clothing because all these other kids got to go clothing shopping, and for the 4 years I was there, or however many, actually, I think I was there 2 years and a half, or maybe 3 at max. But anyways, for all the time I was there, I never got to go clothing shopping with the other children. Never, ever, ever. Never. My father would never allow me to go clothing shopping with the other children. Absolutely not. He was going to bring me, is what I heard. Or, no, they don't get any money like that. And my father even wants them to take the money away from these orphans. So these orphans have nothing but $200 a month, nothing else. They're locked in their room. They go to an orphanage type school. They have no parents, nothing in their lives. All they get is this clothing check once a month of $200. Nothing else. They get to eat American chop suey, powdered eggs, powdered milk type stuff for the rest of their lives. All their lives, they've had the same meals over and over and over. These children are orphans. All they have in their whole entire life is this clothing check that comes in, and maybe somebody donates toys on Christmas. That's it. They get the basic clothing, and they don't even get that much in clothing. $200 a month nowadays isn't that much in clothing, actually. Women spend more than that in every month with fast fashion like it's going out of style. I don't. $200 for me is like a 2 to 3 month budget if I was having to like actually go to work or do something dirty, and that's if I maybe was a child growing. As an adult, I don't need even close to that. But during childhood, yes, I needed a certain amount of clothing that I did not receive. I was called the rag kid through my whole childhood. No matter where I went, I always had the least amount of clothes that fit. I had the least amount of clothes that were decent. And I always had the least amount of branded or any decent clothes. It was pretty cheap stuff. And I didn't mind. That's the thing. I still don't mind that it was cheap. I minded that it wasn't enough at all. That's the problem I had. But I got over it, and I'm better for it today. But what the problem I have is that somebody was taking that money and keeping it. If there was no money, and somebody wasn't just doing it to save more money for themselves, then I probably wouldn't care very much. But there was clothing money meant for me to get clothing, and somebody else decided they wanted to use it for a house I only get maybe 4 to 8 days a month to stay in. So out of all my 980, it did me no good for the future. I didn't, if I had clothing, then I could build more relationships. But yes, people judge you based on your clothing. I learned that the clothing keeps me warm. But wearing cheap, raggedy clothing makes it hard to make friends. So don't expect me to have any relationships with a crazy mother scaring the shit out of my friends, a father who my girlfriend thinks is racist because he's yelling all the time. And then on top of that, I'm wearing raggedy clothes all the time. I'm definitely not gonna, the only reason I got girlfriends is because I'm nice, kind, and they really like that. That's it. I'm not a jerk. But if they went by my clothing, absolutely not. I'm wearing short shorts. I'm wearing an extra, extra large sweater that I traded cigarettes for. And I did ask, don't think I didn't ask my father to let me go clothing shopping with the other kids. Seeing as he wasn't going to be around to bring me or do these things with me, I asked him to let the program let me go clothing shopping at least once a year. Give them $50 a month out of my Social Security so I can go get clothing. Nope. That would, then his mortgage, he might have to pay his mortgage some more. So that wasn't an option because I wasn't a concern. Whatever, if my mother asked, it happened. If I asked, it wasn't necessary. That's why when my mother asked me to go clothing shopping, yes, it got done. My father gave me a bunch of, looks and like he seemed upset. And this was not, he did not know how to raise a child. I mean, clothing isn't even made like it was used to. This shit falls apart. I've had shirts that just rip with the slightest touch. I had a Hawaiian shirt that I literally just leaned up against a wall, and when I stopped the leaning, the goddamn thing fucking ripped. Shirts are terribly made. They're not made to last. Why? Because everything's made in this fast fashion world. It's cheap and it's not made to last. So my father would cheap out, go, look at all these good deals. We'll buy him a little bit this 1 year. We'll do a shop this 1 year, and then we'll wait till next year or until the season changes. We'll wait until winter comes and we'll buy him some jackets and some sweatpants. Yeah. We'll wait until Christmas and we'll unload it on Christmas time, and that will save us some money so we can transfer this money to the mortgage. See how savvy I am, wifey? And they would sit at the kitchen table talking about how they're going to save money for a vacation or to go on some new thing. We're going to save here. We're going to save here. Yeah, I'm so savvy here. So we can go waste the money on a vacation. He was saving money from his son's clothing shopping and then going on a cruise and going on expensive trips. Well, if you can't save money on a cruise, you shouldn't be saving money on your kids' clothing. If you have money for a cruise, then you have money to give your kid his Social Security. But no, this was a cheapness. This was a Zach doesn't need it. I need it. We need this cruise. We need this house. We need this car. Meanwhile, Zach doesn't need all that clothing. Zach doesn't need to stay with us. Zach doesn't need that. But my mother thinks I need psychiatrist. My mother thinks I need medication. So he spends the money, thousands and thousands of dollars on shit that I don't want and don't need. Why? Because my mother wanted it. Anything my mother and father wanted, they got. Anything I needed, I went without. I needed food in New Mexico, I went without. I needed clothing in Haverhill, I went without. I needed medical care in Westford, I went without. I needed medical care in Texas, I went without. I needed medical care in Maine, I went without. I needed medical care in Chelmsford, I went without. It doesn't matter what I needed, or it didn't matter. I didn't get what I needed. If I wanted a toy, I got it because it shut me up. That's it. It's not expensive. It's $5. It's $10. He saw something on the shelf. He has a $1,000 check a month. I'll get him this, and then I'll buy him another $10 toy next week, and then I can spend $40 a month on this child, and he will never complain. He'll have so many toys, this kid will think he's Rockefeller. Meanwhile, he's going without health care and education, proper food, proper clothing. That's the expensive stuff. And he doesn't even get to live in a normal home. He gets to live in an orphanage. So, great. I didn't get to a real program for people from families until I was in Lawrence and 18 years old. Before I was 18, all the other kids in these programs were orphans. The kids in Lowell Treatment Center, orphans. The kids in Haverhill, orphans. The kids in St. Anne's, orphans. The kid in Lowell Treatment Center, orphans, most of them. Not all of them. Some of them also were just people who were made crippled or ill, or people who liked sex, or just crazy kids that were being abused. But it was a whole mix. There was even one 19-year-old from prison, from juvie prison. I don't know why he was with a bunch of 14-year-old children. That was weird. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in this medical industry. There's even women who like abusing kids working as nurses. There's just what I've seen in my lifetime in Massachusetts shows me the state of Massachusetts is going down the drain quick, and the doctors run the show. Yes, the pharmaceutical companies, the insurance companies, the hospitals, and the doctors, and the practices all run Massachusetts. The governor doesn't, the police force don't, the doctors do. The doctors have full control over that state. What they say goes. I'm dead scared to set one step in Massachusetts without a lawyer or some money, because they will hook me up and kill me quick. They will. I know too much. They'll fucking finish me off quickly. I guarantee it. I know these doctors in Mass. I know what they did to me, and I know if I'm speaking up about it, it puts a target on my back.